Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Light Warriors Unleashed podcast, episode 76. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm changing the mode for you guys. Like you guys know I do. Some stuff happened with guest episodes, and there isn't one prep to go out tomorrow. And so I just said, fuck it. I'm going to switch it around again. So on Tuesdays, we are doing solo episodes. And on Fridays, the guests are going to be back. And I will get some stuff in alignment to make sure Friday works and that it allows us to have a beautiful guest. I got some really cool people coming onto the podcast over the next while that I don't even know. And we're going to have some cool conversations inside of the space of all of it, spiritual expansion, their pathways, holding truth, what light warriors mean to them and all that kind of stuff. So I switched up the game. So it means now the even episodes are going to be solo episodes. And I just like that. And it's so fun, for me to do that. But today we're going to talk about distractions. And we're going to talk about how they are enabling us to live in conformity still, and how some of us are not seeing them and not paying attention. And those distractions are ruling our life. It's short, it's brief, it's to the point. Literally, most of you will not be able to get to work listening to it because it's that short, but it's potent as fuck, like always. And no further ado, let's give it to you right now. Episode 76, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. All right, guys. This is going to be maybe exciting, is what we'll call it, as an adventure for us today. But I want to bring up the term and the energy of distractions. And I think that this is a pertinent energetics for us to lean into this week in the podcast. I've done a couple things. I flipped the solo episodes to Tuesday because of distractions. And I've launched the guest episodes coming up Friday this week because of distractions. And I'm in the middle of a massive distraction right now. So I am sitting in a venue that isn't mine, that is a rental venue that one of my friends runs, a rental company, like a rental property company here in Costa Rica, because the normal place where I can shoot and work wasn't available. My place isn't available until the middle of February. So I am right now in a huge, huge improvisation stage in my world. And distractions are and have been a very, very big thing in my life at this moment of time. And I was having this conversation with myself earlier today in connection with distractions. The internet was going off here today. I couldn't get things to load. The sequences I'm creating a 17-page offer landing page right now. That is one-off masterclasses that are going to launch out to the public tonight for people to be able to purchase for like $7 a piece. Like, it's just something totally ridiculous that I just felt really called to do over the last few days. And it's taking a while to get it together. But all of these distractions were happening. I had to move my podcast recording today because next door of where I am, they are renovating. And even maybe through this podcast, you might be able to hear the saw going off or them hammering out. Right now they're quiet. And I'm like, amazing. And they haven't been quiet all day for more than 5 minutes. So I'm like, please go on a break for half an hour right now while I record this podcast, because that would be fucking amazing. But that is also going on in the background as a distraction. The puppies have been amazing and they are super cute and they are honoring my space of creation. So when I'm in work mode, when I'm on calls, when I'm doing things, they are actually so good. And that's what I desire in puppies. And it's like they already knew me inside the space. So it's not even them creating a distraction. It's all these other things moving through our field. So here's what I know. It's time for us. Oh, here comes some major energy moving for some of you when I say this out loud. It's time for us to really grit in to the things, to the desires, to our commitments to ourselves. And over the next few months, for sure, and whenever you hear this podcast, this will be relevant to you. Over the next few months, for sure, we are going to be put up against distractions, things that look like they are taking us offline, things that look like are not in focus for us, things that appear to be something that they're actually not. Chaos and lack of momentum and all of this landscape are going to come through the field over the next little while for us to be distracted. And all I want to say to you in this very tight, short podcast today, before the saws come back on, is do not let it happen. When it's going on, forge through. When it's going on, unless you're feeling called to shift it or change it in some way, shape, or form, allow the distractions to happen and still stay focused. And you may be like, Colleen, like, how can we really do this? The spiritual practices that we are being called into right now, whether it's meditation, whether it's intention setting, whether it's visualization, whether it's yoga, whether it's connecting into yourself in deeper ways, whether it's certain practices of plant medicine, of your nighttime routine, of your gratitude space. Like there's so many aspects to this. Embodiment practices, how you're flowing within your body and all those things. There's so many of them right now being called forward within us. And most of us are actually so distracted with all the shit that we actually don't need to do that we're missing the mark and the actual real work. And some of us can't fathom this in our mind because of the fact that we have been taught and conditioned as humans to think about life, to do more in a way of conformity, meaning go to work your 9-to-5 job, and then run around with your head cut off, taking the kids to all these places and doing all these things. And you are not being. And the most potent part is the being, because in the being is where we expand. In the being is where things happen in quantum energies. In the being is where things really align. And that's the actual quest and the mechanism that we're in right now, is how can we be in our space and move within the being of our embodiment and of our flow to maneuver stuff forward. And it doesn't mean that we don't have to grit it out for like a 17-page masterclass offer landing page. It just means that in connection with some of the dynamics that we're moving through, that we are being called forward to grit in, to literally say, this is no longer available in my life. And this is something that I'm moving through, and I am going to own it, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to be with it. I'm going to be all in on this energetics. And that's the actual real capacity that we have as humans, is to make that choice and decision to say, no matter what fucking distractions are happening, no matter what my friends say, no matter what my family does, no matter what's happening at the hotel, no matter what's happening in my neighbor's yard, no matter what's happening with the internet, I'm taking back my power. And I will not let this distraction sway me. And maybe we have to change our timing a little bit. Maybe we have to move a couple things around sometimes. But most of us right now are floating in distractions, and you're letting them win. So this morning I woke up and I was super fucking tired. Like, I'm talking about so tired. And as you can imagine, it's only day 10 of having 7-week-old puppies who are about to turn 8 weeks this week. Like, it's intense. I have to be up every 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes in the middle of the night, they're whining. They want on the bed. They want to cuddle with me. They want to play. They want to do their things. And I am not sleeping, nor will I probably sleep a full night's sleep for a while. So I'm tired, as you can tell, but I'm also moving a lot of energy through speaking this out into the world. And I've done a lot of energy work this morning already for clients. So I'm in this space of like, lots of things are happening in my field. Lots of things are up in the air. Lots of things are around. And this is actually my true and tried test of like, how can I hold the capacity of it all? How can I continue to step into this? How can I be in alignment with this? And how can I continue to move through this? Because I know and I desire to have a life of alignment, to have all the things that I desire, to be very clear about my world. And even when the distractions show up and the disconnections and the forceful energy of maneuvering sometimes because we're rebelling against things or we're not listening to stuff, how can I still hold clarity? And how can I still sway and move and flow within this energetic field? So these are questions that I'm leaving into your field right now, into the space of you and your creation and your movement and how you show up in the world. And what does this mean? And how does this mean for you? And most of us are playing within distractions right now, because if you are distracted, you are not doing the things that you are meant to do to illuminate and hold sovereignty in the world. And if you are not sovereign and you are not holding your light, you are susceptible to the shadow, and you are not making your impact the way that it is actually in you to make. Distractions are a dynamic energy that most of us don't even see as shadow, right? We just think that this is life, because most of us have been conditioned to keep doing in life instead of being in life. And instead of actually connecting deeper within, it's all superficial. And not to say your whole life is like that. I'm not saying that. I don't even know what your life is like. I'm speaking into a concept right now. But if you feel this, you know that to be true. So where in your life can you grit in still and not let the distractions sway you? Because that's where the powerful energy lies. And that, my friend, is a tool. And that is a tool that you can lean into time and time and time again to keep maneuvering, to keep being, to keep expanding, to keep in your desires, and to keep creating. But are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to see through the veil? Are you willing to step into the space? Are you? I don't know. I am, apparently, but I also am distracted, and I will own that. I will own that. So I'm about to leave this location where I am, and I have to get to the gym. So yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you guys, is this morning I was so tired, and I was supposed to meet a girlfriend at the gym at 6:30. There was no way I was making it happen. So I, excuse me, messaged her around 5:30. Like, look at me and my realness always on the podcast here. It's just crazy. I messaged her at 5:30, was like, there is a high probability that I will not be at the gym this morning. And she went, but she texted me later, I need to do some cardio stuff. I'd love to meet you if you're going this afternoon. And I am. So I'm going to finish up here, go drop the dogs off at my girlfriend's and see if she's willing to watch them. And if she is, then I'm headed to the gym for like a 45-minute all in, get my ass kicked workout to come back to do more work. Client call tonight, finish off work. Mondays are usually pretty intense back end days for me. And my to-do list is massive. And the challenge that I will have this week is actually getting everything done. And I am driving towards that in a powerful, purposeful way of juiciness. The stuff on this to-do list is expanding. It feels aligned. It's opening up more doors. It's getting exposure. It's like really being and flowing within a field. And I can't wait to align it all and to challenge myself even to align it all. And will there be distractions when I go back to my girlfriend's place? Yeah, she's got a 3-year-old. So how can I grit into that? And how can I still align myself? I have 2 7-week-old puppies that at her place, they love to run around and be and do and play, as distractions. But we can hold it if we choose to. We just have to make a decision that that's important for us. So this is a really tight podcast today. I don't think I have to speak into this energy any more than what I've already said, because for those of you that needed it, you heard the message. And for those of you guys new here, welcome. I'm excited to have you. Help us share it out, spread the word, take a snapshot of this, whatever you're doing with your life right now at this moment, and you have me on your ear. Help us. The more people listening to this podcast, the more people are listening to the podcast, which means the vibration moves through the world. And I desire to share this out in all different ways for all different people. So, distractions this week. Are you playing in them, or are you flowing with them? There you go.